Yeah.
Saya yang hoy kerja.
Yeah. I did remember
Asante.
since morning.
Thank you.
Talk to everybody.
So we have people standing around. If they can go over there and behind the tent, there will be some more chairs. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I begin in the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Respected Maulana Rizvi, respected Alims, members of the Executive Committee, on behalf of the entire community, I would like to welcome our honorable guest who have taken the time for honor Hilary Weston, the Lieutenant Governor of Ontario, for honor Mr. Weston. We have our honorable federal and provincial ministers and the mayors and city councillors. Welcome. Welcome also to our guests from other communities, to the representative of York Police, the director and representative of York District School Board, and the school board of the Toronto Waldorf. Welcome to the president and councillors of Nasimco, to the administration of the East, West and Central Madrasa, and As-Sadiq School and all other guests. Welcome to our past presidents, to our past chair ladies, and past chair youth person of the Toronto Jamaat and the past chairman and past chair ladies of the affiliated centers. Last but not least, welcome to all of you, to our seniors, respected seniors, to our respected elders, to our respected brothers and sisters, and especially our dear children, the future of our community. Peace be upon you. Assalamu alaikum. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Murtaza Panju and I'm the MC for today's event. We will start the program with a recitation of the Quran by Brother Ahmad Salman, followed by the translation by Brother Mazahir Somji. May I request them to please approach the podium.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إنما يعمر مساجد الله من آمن بالله وباليوم الآخر وأقام الصلاة وآتى الزكاة ولم يخش إلا الله فعسى أولئك أن يكونوا من المهتدين أجعلتم سقاية الحاج وعمارة المسجد الحرام كمن آمن بالله كمن آمن بالله واليوم الآخر وجاهد في سبيل الله لا يستوون عند الله لا يستوون عند الله لا يستوون عند الله والله لا يهدي القوم الظالمين الذين آمنوا وهاجروا وجاهدوا في سبيل الله وجاهدوا في سبيل الله بأموالهم وأنفسهم أعظم درجة عند الله وأولئك هم الفائزون يبشرهم ربهم برحمة منه ورضوان وجنات لهم فيها نعيم مقيم خالدين فيها أبدا خالدين فيها أبدا خالدين فيها أبدا إن الله عنده أجر عظيم صدق الله العلي العظيم اللهم صل وسلم وزد وبارك على رسول الله وآله الأطهار على رسول الله وآله الأطهار
From far
We have gathered here today to celebrate two joyous occasions. The first being the wiladat of the son of Abu Talib, the cousin of the Prophet Muhammad and the husband of the Lady of Light, Bibi Fatima, is none other than Amir al-Mu'mineen, our first Imam, Hazrat Ali alayhi salam.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
And the second occasion is the groundbreaking ceremony to begin the march towards the construction of the Islamic Education and Community Center, and inshallah until completion. We have a very exciting program for you. We have members of the community and dignitaries who will be addressing us. The first speaker is our president, Brother Ali Raza Rajani, who has a vision for this community, and we all share this vision with this particular project. Without further ado, may I request the president to please come forward and address the people.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I begin in the name of Allah, who is the most beneficent, most merciful. Sayyid Muhammad Rizvi, our resident alim and imam, ulama kiram, Your Honor, Hillary Weston, Lieutenant Governor of Ontario, my distinguished guest, Mr. Weston, Honorable Eleanor Kaplan, our dear friend, Member of Parliament and Minister of Immigration, Honorable Jim Carriganis, MP, Honorable Frank Cleese, MPP, and Honorable Tina Molinari, the Acting Mayor of the City of Vaughan, Brother Michael Ibyasi, councillors, the Chairman, the President of Nasimco, Sister Nurzara Ibrahim, leaders of various institutions and communities and education boards, distinguished guests, my elders of the community, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, and my beloved children, I say Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. It's my pleasure to welcome you all on behalf of each and every member of our community to this proud and historic occasion. It is indeed an honor for us to have you join us in marking a very important day as we are embarking on a journey that is filled with noble goals for ourselves and our next generation. I would like very briefly to give you a background of our community. Most of our community, tracing back our roots, we hail from the area in India which is called Gujarat. About 100 years or so, our forefathers migrated to Eastern Central Africa, Madagascar and the Indian Ocean Islands. During the partition of India, a significant number left for what is now known as Pakistan. The late 60s and the early 70s saw an exodus of our people to the west in search of better opportunities and better future for our children. Some of us were forced to leave our homelands due to political turmoil and persecution there. Today, our worldwide population is merely 125,000, of which 4,500 have made Ontario as their home. In the traditions of our forefathers, we have always been in the forefront of community development and civic activities. The spirit of charity giving and volunteerism, as strongly ordained in our faith and passed through generations in our culture, is one of the hallmarks and a source of great inspiration for the progress and development of our community. Wherever we have settled, we have left behind a mark of our contribution to the development of that place. In Africa, for example, we have built schools and institutions of learning. We built hospitals and medical facilities, as well as infrastructure for other social services that are thriving even today, serving the general masses of that continent, most of whom live in such conditions that these basic necessities are out of their economic reach. We have also been actively involved in some major relief efforts and a host of other philanthropic causes in the third world countries. This has all been carried out through sheer volunteerism, voluntary work, and charitable donations, all coming from within the membership of the community. We find ourselves very fortunate to live in Canada, a democratic country that promotes diversity of culture and faiths, as well as provides equal opportunity for self-development to one and all. It is then incumbent upon us as true citizens of this country to come together and demonstrate our adherence towards these noble values and the traditions of this country. During the last decade, we have seen a steady growth in the extracurricular activities in the community in Toronto. Our social and political commitment to our new homeland has seen our participation in interfaith activities and various levels of government. We have fostered very good relations with our neighbors. Our main center on Bayview Avenue next to the Har Zion Jewish Temple is a shining example for the world to see our values. It emits a strong message of tolerance and cooperation between the various faiths. For 7 weeks in winter, we leave our doors open to the homeless people of Toronto in the Out of Cold program organized by various faith groups. We also participate in various other charity activities. We participate in blood donor clinics, food drives, and a host of other charity programs. All of them again funded through donations and voluntary work by a cross-section of the members of this community. The foundation stone ceremony that we have all gathered here to witness today is a milestone in our journey to provide for future facilities to fulfill our religious, moral, social and civic obligations. We have selected today for this ceremony as we also mark and celebrate the birth anniversary of our beloved Imam Ali alayhi salam, who is our first apostle after the Prophet and also an exemplary and ideal personality. He was an example par excellence in his devotion to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and his manner of charity and treatment of other humans are lessons that we should all cherish and practice. It is our strong belief that by promoting and building a strong facility, we will be providing a facility to build a strong family unit which has all its needs catered for. We shall produce not only better Muslims but almost definitely better citizens. The project is our hope and our dream for a better future for all. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of our friends, neighbors, officials and others who have come to our aid during the time of our need. Your support has been very much appreciated, and let me emphasize that this community will not forget the support that you have given us. I would also like to thank all those both from within our community and from outside who have contributed their time, their energy, their funds towards this project. We still have a long way to go, and it is my sincere hope that all of you here will continue to help us in the days ahead. Lastly, may Allah bless you all for your presence here. May Allah bless you all for your generosity. May Allah bless you all for your prayers, and may Allah guide us all and guard us at all times. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. President, for a very inspiring speech. And I would like to apologize to you, Mr. President. I forgot to put in front of you your slides. So I guess I have to take your position now. Now, what I would like to do, I would like to call upon the children of our Sadiq school who are going to be reciting Children of the World. Can we have them come in? we talked about our first Imam, Imam Ali alayhi salam, as a leader with a vision. Everyone in the community knows the speaker. He has served the community with passion and understanding for many years now. Please let us welcome our resident alim, Maulana Sayyid Rizvi.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء وخاتم المرسلين سيدنا ونبينا بالقاسم محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين. Respected guests, our honored Lieutenant Governor of Ontario, the representative of the federal, provincial and municipal governments, the respected ulama, sisters and brothers in Islam, I begin with the Islamic greeting of peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we are witnessing a very important day in the history of our community. The organizing committee has rightly chosen this day as the day of foundation ceremony for the new Islamic Education and Community Center because it coincides with the birth anniversary of our first Imam Ali bin Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
I would like to take this opportunity to briefly talk about our Imam. As far as his family background is concerned, very briefly for our guests especially, who was Ali? Ali was the cousin of the Prophet of Islam. He was raised by the Prophet from the age 5, and later on when he became a young man, the Prophet gave his beloved daughter Fatima as a wife to Ali. It is through Ali that the descendants of the Prophet continued in this life through the marriage of Ali and Fatima. But if we ask this question, who is Ali, from a more broader perspective, I would like to use the words of the famous Lebanese poet Khalil Gibran Khalil, where he says, Ali was the first Arab to attain the universal soul and lived with it. And so there is no wonder that we see that all Muslims take pride in considering Ali as their leader. For us, the Shia Muslims, Ali is the first Imam and the successor of the Prophet of Islam. For the Sunni Muslims who are in the majority of the world of Islam, Ali is the most learned of all the caliphs who came after the Prophet of Islam. For the Sufis, who are the followers of the spiritual tradition of Islam, Ali is the supreme spiritual master, Waliyul Awliya, of all the spiritual masters of the world. If you look at all the branches of Islamic studies, from theology to jurisprudence, from Arabic literature to Quranic studies, if you trace the line of teachers from one generation to another going back to the early days of Islam, you will end up with none other than Ali bin Abi Talib as the teachers of all the teachers in Islamic sciences.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
And so it's very appropriate that we bless this foundation ceremony of our new center by holding it on the day of the birth anniversary of Ali, peace be upon him. Ali possessed the universal soul that transcended the bounds of time and space. His life and examples are relevant to us even during our present era. Today, when we look at the social and political state of our times, we see that in spite of advancement of science and technology, the world community is in dire need of mutual understanding and peace. Peace, the most desired, but at the same time, the most elusive concept, is the prayer of every child, every woman, and every man on the face of this globe. Alas, peace cannot be achieved without justice. And this is where we see that when we study the example of Imam Ali, we see that although he ruled the Muslim empire for only 5 years, but during those 5 years, he left many shining examples of peaceful coexistence for communities of very diverse religious background. In this atmosphere of festivity, I don't want to go into details, but I must share with you 2 examples of how he was promoting peaceful coexistence between the people who believed in very different religions. Once Imam Ali, as the caliph of the time, the supreme ruler of the Muslim empire, he was in the company of the high-ranking officials of his government when an old man passed by and he approached them, extending his hands, begging for help. When Imam saw that this old man is begging, he turned towards his officers and he said, "What is this? Ma hadha?" Those who know Arabic, they must understand that even the way he raised this question is very important. He didn't say, "Who is this?" He asked them, "What is this?" From the perspective of Ali, who was a champion of social justice, it is unacceptable for a Muslim society to have people begging on the streets. I wish the Muslim rulers of our time would look at that example of Ali, reflect on it, and try to implement in their own part of the world. When Ali raised this question, "Ma hadha?" What is this? Why do I see this old man begging on the street? The officers replied to him, "O chief of the believers, he is a Christian." They actually wanted to justify their lack of concern by saying that he is not a Muslim. And so why should we care for him? Imam Ali turned to them and he said, "It is shame that you used him when he was a young and productive citizen of the society, but now that he has become old, unable to contribute anymore, you have just left him aside and deprived him of his basic needs." He ordered them right away, provide for him from the public treasury on an ongoing basis. This was the example of social justice that Ali bin Abi Talib stood for. And in Islamic society, it doesn't matter whether a person is a Muslim or a non-Muslim, the social justice covers all citizens of that religion. Another example, that when Imam Ali appointed Malik Ashtar, his very close friend, as his governor in Egypt. Egypt was a very far away province from the capital of the Muslim empire at that time. Ali, when he sent Malik Ashtar as the governor there, he wrote an epistle, a lengthy letter to Malik, in which he basically has talked about how the Muslim rulers should govern the society. And I would like to share with you one sentence from that letter of Ali that he wrote to his governor in Egypt, keeping in mind that there was a sizable Christian minority in Egypt at that time, as it is now, even now, these days. Ali writes in that letter, he says to Malik Ashtar, "Inculcate in your heart the sense of mercy, affection, and kindness for the citizens. Since the citizens are of 2 kinds, either they are your brethren in faith, Muslims like you, or they are like you in humanity. They might not share the same religion and faith like you, but they are brothers in humanity." This was the instruction of Ali to his governor, Malik Ashtar. 14 centuries have passed away from the days when Ali ruled the Muslim empire. But historians and writers still portray him as the ideal Islamic ruler who upheld social justice for all his citizens, Muslims and non-Muslims alike. It is no wonder that we see even non-Muslim Arabs. There is a very sizable non-Muslim community in the Arab world, in Lebanon and Egypt, that even they very greatly glorify the life of Ali. One of them, by the name of Michael Naima from Lebanon, he wrote in the preface of George Jordan, who has a book by the name of Imam Ali, The Voice of Human Justice. Michael writes in that preface, he says, Ali is not only the pride of the battlefield, he was superior in every aspect, in sincerity of heart, purity of conscience, attractive speech, perfect humanity, spirit of belief. He was a great calm helper of the oppressed, always submitting to the reality in every place and every moment. Wherever you turn, you will see Ali is superior in all fields. Khalil Gibran Khalil, the famous poet, is also known in the Western world. He was so much amazed with Ali's life that he once said, he says, I haven't been able to understand why God sometimes creates a person with such exceptional qualities, but then sends him before his actual time. According to Khalil Gibran, Ali should have been sent during our times, because now we have reached to that level of knowledge and wisdom where we can appreciate the example and sayings of our Imam Ali bin Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
The new community center will combine within itself a place of worship, a place for education, a place which will serve the needs of the community members, and also a place for physical fitness and well-being. And I would like our community to know that this center will be unique in the entire Muslim world, because we don't have any center under the same roof which caters to all different needs of the community at the same place. And so this is going to be a very unique example of an Islamic center in the new world. And this combination of various aspects of life in one center is within the thinking of Imam Ali, who himself, was an embodiment of diverse qualities in one person. Let me conclude with the translation of the Arabic poet of a very famous poet by the name of Safiyuddin al-Hilli, who lived about 6 centuries ago, where he praises the combination of contradictory attributes in the person of Ali. And I would like to conclude my talk with that, where he says, in your virtues, contraries have come together, and for this the opponents have praised you. The gentle, the brave, the ascetic, the ruler, the saint, the warrior, the kind, the pauper. Those traits that never met in one man together, the like of them no servant of God has attained ever. A refined morality that puts the gentle breeze to shame, and a strength that makes the solid melt. Your qualities are greater that can be combined in verses of a poem or counted by any critic. Thank you very much.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Thank you, Maulana Rizmi, for a very enlightening lecture. And there's no doubt there is never stopping and how much you can learn about this man, Imam Ali alayhi salam. And yes, we have to be compassionate and understanding before we make any judgment when we are with each other. During the welcoming, we have got other people joining us. We have Brother Khoja from the IHS, Islamic Humanitarian Services in Kitchener. And we have the Honorable Javiban, the Deputy Ambassador of Iran. Thank you for being with us. Now we're going to have a qasida. A qasida is a poem, and this is to praise our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Peace be upon him. The recitation will be done by a young man who is gifted with a powerful and beautiful voice. May I ask Alamdar to please approach the podium? Is Alamdar here? Yes. May I ask you to pray salawat?
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
محبوب کی محفل کو محبوب سجاتے ہیں، محبوب کی محفل کو محبوب سجاتے ہیں، آتے ہیں وہی جن کو سرکار بلاتے ہیں، وہ لوگ خدا شاید قسمت کے سکندر ہیں، قسمت کے سکندر ہیں، جو سرور عالم کا میلاد مناتے ہیں، آتے ہیں وہی جن کو سرکار بلاتے ہیں، جن کا بھری دنیا میں کوئی بھی نہیں والی، کوئی بھی نہیں والی، ان کو بھی میرے آقا سینے سے لگاتے ہیں، آتے ہیں وہی جن کو سرکار بلاتے ہیں، پنجتن کے گھرانے کی عظمت تو ذرا دیکھو، عظمت تو ذرا دیکھو، سارے نیزے پہ ہے پھر بھی قرآن سناتے ہیں، آتے ہیں وہ को सरकार बुलाते हैं महबूब की महफिल को महबूब सजाते हैं सवाल कर रहा हूँ
Thank you, Alhamdar, and I'm sure your father, Marhum, will be very proud of you. The biggest and long-term beneficiary of the Islamic Education and Community Center will be our youth and the future generation of our community. And what better way than a youth to tell us what this project means for them. First, we will have Sister Fatima Barwani, who's going to be speaking about teens' perspective, and then we will have the youth leader, Sister Zainab Rasul, who will tell us from the youth perspective. So may I request Sister Fatima Barwani to come forward.
To play sports, have get-togethers, do our out-of-the-cold programs, food drives, and have debates, deal with the problems and challenges that we face, and foster the humorous relationships among us and the youth of this community, as well as the community at large. For giving us this, we must thank the seniors of the community. This project is a result of their sweat and effort. I know about the activities the senior group of the community undertakes and the fun trips they go on. It gives me great joy that the first-class facilities will be available for them to use, to grow, and to continue to offer their guidance to us as we grow. The center of institution, like ours, is a center of prayer. We will have this center to use. We can use it for our holy days and hold congregations here. The thought of being able to accommodate all the members of the community in one place with adequate parking places for us and causing the least inconvenience to our neighbors is indeed refreshing. A religion that promotes close relationship and harmony with its neighbors, and in which you can see, in my thought process, can never be used to justify an action that we saw in New York on September 11th. Once our center is built, we can use it more, and our neighbors will be able to see for themselves that as a community to following Islamic principles are peaceful, considerate, helpful, and law-abiding people and citizens of this great country. This project will instill a sense of pride in us and the community at large. We will use it to propagate our religion and its teachings as it's supposed to be. We will develop it standing side by side, young and old, male and female. And when it's all done, our future generation will remember us and thank us for our legacy to them. May Allah give us the strength to achieve our goals. Ameen. Thank you for listening to me and for being here for this very special day. It will be a day of realization of many dreams, but it is a reality. If you don't believe me, just pinch the person next to you. Thank you for listening. Wassalam.
Thank you very much. Your Honor, Mr. Wesson, I didn't see you pinch Molana. Now we're going to have Sister Zainab Rasul, a youth leader and a very dedicated volunteer of the community. May I request her presence, please?
In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Honorable guests, Lieutenant Governor of Ontario Hilary Weston, my elders, my brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As I close my eyes, I dream a very beautiful dream. I envision the future. I see a building filled with Islamic, intricate art. A building where the youths can talk, play, pray, ponder, debate, discuss, all in the comfort of an Islamic environment. A place they can call home, something that meets their religious, social, and emotional needs. It is a place where not some, but all youth events can be held. No more hassles of renting halls, or cold and wet Muharrams in the tent. No more issues of security. For this building replaces all those fears, and in turn provides a place of comfort, joy, and solidarity. It is here the responsibility of the youth begins. It is our responsibility to educate those who are unaware. It is our responsibility to help build and maintain this project. For it is the youths of today who will be the foundation of this project. It is up to us to keep the spirit alive, and it is that very same spirit that will keep us all together. It is this very same building I see my children acquiring knowledge and education. I see the children of today becoming the leaders of tomorrow. It is here they will graduate as Muslim scholars, prime ministers, and presidents. It is a home where barriers of ethnicity, class, background do not exist. As the Holy Quran states, we have made you into different nations and tribes so that you may understand each other. A place that brings together the young and old, the rich and poor, the black and white. For it is none other than Imam Ali alayhi salam
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad,
for whom we have gathered here today to celebrate the birth anniversary. We look to him as a role model who lived an exemplary life, who taught us about the importance of family, community, and solidarity. It is only through education can there be understanding, and it is with that understanding that comes mutual respect. This respect for one another brings about peaceful coexistence. This is the only country in the world that multiculturalism is entrenched in the Constitution. And today, we remember Prime Minister Elliott Trudeau. This community is a community with a blazing history of benevolence and social upliftment. Canada is our home. We were born here. We were raised here. We are going to make our country a safe and better place to live. My eyes opened to the glaring sun, and I realized this was not a dream, but a reality that you all have come here to share with me, a reality that begins today with the laying of the foundation. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sister Zainab, and I think you are setting the tone by being a volunteer and a leader, and I'm sure we can follow the same path. And there is no doubt that we are all proud to be Canadian, and we are proud to be Muslims also. The ISIJ community started in 1967 with just 3 families. In 1971, the East African SHIA ITHNASHERI Union of Toronto was formed with an initial membership of just 30. 30 years later, we are gathered here with more than 1,400 members representing over 4,500 individuals from different parts of the world. During all these years, we have built excellent relationship with our federal and provincial ministers, with the mayors and the city councillors. We like to think of them as the friends of the community, and we are privileged that you are all here with us today. Our next speaker is someone who has honored us by attending this program. She is the head of the state of Ontario and the representative of the Queen. It is my privilege to welcome Her Honor Hilary Weston, the Lieutenant Governor of Ontario. May I request Her Honor to approach the podium.
Thank you. May I say how delighted I am to be here with you today. Imam, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Salamun alaykum. This is a double celebration. The launch of the Islamic Education and Community Centre, and also the birthday of your first Imam. God's peace be with him. Toronto's SHIA ITHNASHERI Jamaat has come a long way since the original families arrived in Canada and formed this community just 30 years ago. As Canadians, you have contributed greatly to the growth and prosperity of your adopted country, whilst observing the tenets of Islam, a faith which links all Muslims, regardless of race or nationality. Such tolerance for others is one of the basic principles which distinguishes us as Canadians and has made us strong. Over the years, this community has shown its generous spirit by assisting the homeless, supporting food banks, blood banks, and many, many other worthwhile causes. It is a tribute to your vision of an inclusive society in which we all share responsibility for the welfare of each other. Islam is a culture, a way of life based on the Quran, and one of the world's great religions. An increasing number of Canadians profess this faith, so it is appropriate that you should take this bold new step into the future with the building of a mosque and community centre in this place. Inshallah. It will provide you with a splendid new place where all will gather to learn and to observe the guiding principles of Islam, a faith which seeks peace and compassion for all. In the name of the Queen, and on behalf of your fellow Ontarians, I bring you greetings and congratulations. May the roots that we are planting here today flourish and bear much good fruit. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, Her Honor. Thank you for your kind words and warm wishes. This community has always strived and made sure that our vision also serves to make Canada a better place to live in. The next speaker has attended our mosque on many special occasions and is familiar with our community. I would like to welcome our next speaker, the Honorable Eleanor Kaplan, the Minister of Immigration and Citizenship.
Your Honor, Hillary Weston, distinguished religious leaders, colleagues from all levels of government, friends of this community, and the youth of this community who sang and spoke so eloquently. I want to thank you for inviting me to be with you today. I bring greetings from the Right Honourable Jean Chrétien, the Prime Minister of Canada, and I thought it would be appropriate if I took just a couple of minutes to share with you his words from a visit to a mosque in Ottawa last week. And I quote, "I have come here as your Prime Minister to bring a message of reassurance and tolerance. I know that the days since September 11th, 2001 have been ones of great sadness and anxiety for Muslims across Canada, because the cold-blooded killers who committed the atrocities in New York and Washington invoked the name and the words of Islam as justification. Many of your faith have felt constrained when expressing your sympathy and solidarity with the victims. This despite the fact that many Muslims also perished in the attacks. Worse, some have been singled out for denunciation and violence, acts that have no place in Canada or any civilized nation, and which have made me feel shame as Prime Minister. I wanted to stand by your side today and to reaffirm with you that Islam has nothing to do with the mass murders that was planned and carried out by the terrorists and their masters. Like all faiths, Islam is about peace, about justice, and about harmony among all people. And I sense your sadness at the way that a great world religion has been unjustly smeared by this evil. Above all, I want to stand by your side to condemn the acts of intolerance and hatred that have been committed against your community since the attack. Let me say that I turn my back on the people who have done this. I have no time for them. And I call on our police and courts to apply the full force of our laws against them. As a sign of the importance our government attaches to this issue, we have amended the criminal code to provide for tougher sentences for those who are convicted of hate crimes. While they may feel a righteous motivation for such conduct, nothing could be further from the truth. By giving into hate and an unreasoned thirst for vengeance, they are doing the work of the terrorists, who will win when they export their hatred. They are, in my judgment, a disgrace to the memory of the victims. As I have said, this is a struggle against terrorism, not against any faith or community. And Canada will not use the justification of national security to abandon our cherished values of freedom and tolerance. We will not fall into the trap will not fall into the trap of exclusion as we have in the past. I say today once again that we are all Canadians. We stand together as one against this evil. We grieve together as a family. As one nation, we defy the twisted philosophy of the terrorists. And shoulder to shoulder, we will pursue the struggle for justice. Unquote. My friends, those are the words of our Prime Minister last week when he visited a mosque. Today, as your Member of Parliament, but also as Minister of Citizenship and Immigration, and most especially as a friend of this community, I stand here on a day of an important beginning. Today, as you lay the cornerstone for your new building, your new mosque and education center, it is a day of hope and dreams. I listened to the words of your most articulate youth and of your religious leader, and I'm filled with inspiration. I know the good works of this community within the broader community, and I know that today, as we gather on this important day for your community, the birth anniversary of your first Imam Ali, and I learned so much, as I always do when I visited, about the important history and the values that you have brought with you to Canada. As Minister of Citizenship and Immigration, I want to remind you that Canada is a country built by immigration. I'm reminded of it every time I listen to our Governor General and remember that she came to Canada as a refugee. And I was reminded of it today when I heard the lilt in the wonderful speech from our Lieutenant Governor. And I know that we're so proud of the accomplishments of all of those who came before us, our parents and our grandparents. We know how proud we are of those in this community and others who have come to make Canada the best country in the world, to bring their talents and shared values of tolerance, of celebration of diversity, of equal opportunity for all, and most especially, living in a troubled world where we do our best to be peacekeepers and peacemakers. Thank you for letting me share this important day with you. As we learn about each other, we are enriched. Salam alaikum.
Thank you very much for your message of tolerance. And I'm sure we, the community, will work within ourselves and outside the community to spread the word of peace. And we are proud to be Canadian, and the color of blood is the same for all Canadians. Now, I'm really disappointed here because you already know who the next speaker is. Now that's not fair, right? But you know what? It's our privilege to have the Honorable Tina Molinari, the MPP of the Thornhill constituency. May I ask her to please come forward?
Good afternoon, Honorable Lieutenant Governor, special guests, religious leaders, and the youth that are here today, brothers and sisters. It's a true pleasure to be here today to have and share this experience with you. As a representative of Thornhill, it is a true honor to have such a center, a groundbreaking ceremony in this riding. The opening of the legislature this past Monday was dedicated to the unfortunate events of September 11th. as several speakers before me have alluded to the tragedy and how it affected all of us. Our Premier, Mike Harris, put forth the resolution to acknowledge these acts were evil, immoral, and an affront to humanity, and also to respond to the recent unfortunate incidents in Ontario and elsewhere directed at Muslims and other visible minority communities. Our Premier has met with many Muslim leaders in the last few weeks, and one leader indicated to him that in his view, racism and hateful comments come from a lack of knowledge and understanding of others. And he also quoted the Quran, which I paraphrase, as was very eloquently quoted by the youth previous. We are made of different nations and different tribes so that we may all live together in harmony. It is a pleasure for me that Thornhill is a community that demonstrates this tolerance and understanding. On Bayview, we have a synagogue, a mosque, and a Buddhist temple, all alongside each other. This is a great sign of our diversity in Thornhill and in Ontario. As I have said, in the legislature on Monday was dedicated to this day. Mike Harris, the leader of our province, and the members of our government will not tolerate attacks on the Muslim community. The horrible events that took place in the United States do not represent the beliefs of the Muslim community within Thornhill, in Ontario, and in all of Canada. Our country, and especially our province, are built on the principles of diversity. This community will continue to promote that diversity as we all strive to live together in faiths and cultures and ethnicities of all different types. As a community, you have been invaluable contributors to the growth of the province of Ontario. I pray that this community centre will serve the community well and commend this community for its vision and determination for this project's growth. You took a very bold and ambitious step when you purchased this land in 1994. A great individual once stated, "Courage is the first of all human qualities because it guarantees all the rest." This center, the Islamic Education and Community Center, is even more meaningful at this time. As many of you are aware, our government introduced the education tax credit. The Mike Harris government is committed to the diversity and the recognition of diversity in communities and the recognition of people wanting to be educated in their faith. I want to also comment Frank Cleese, my colleague who is here as well today. He and I and a number of other of our colleagues worked hard to ensure that our government would recognize this need and this absolute need for the community to be able to practice your faith in your community. And I want to assure you that it will be our commitment to see that it continues to progress. I also want to thank a number of members of the Muslim community who contributed in the consultation in this process. It's important that our continued working together, in order for us to represent you well, we need your input constantly. And I am very happy to say that there's a lot of volunteers within your community that are very willing to assist us in every way possible. And I truly appreciate, and I know Frank Cleese as well, appreciates all the work that you do in assisting us to represent you well. Again, congratulations on this wonderful day, and certainly hope that the future will bring you a lot of good wishes and good future. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much.
And I'm really glad to hear that we have our ministers helping us in spreading the word about who the real Muslims are. And we thank you for that. The next speaker is really truly a friend of the community. When he came, he couldn't move forward because our vice president was stuck in front of him. So he just told him, go ahead and move, I have to move. And it was nice to see that, and I'm sure we have those kind of relationship with all of you. Our next speaker is the acting mayor of Vaughan, the city councillor, Michael DiBiase. May I have you on the podium, please?
Your Honor, Lieutenant Governor Hillary Weston, Mr. Weston, members of the federal government, members of the provincial government, religious leaders, local community members, children, and seniors. Assalamu alaikum. On behalf of members of the City of Vaughan and our Mayor, I'm bringing you greetings. It also is a pleasure to express congratulations on this important accomplishment that has brought all of us here today. It is a wonderful day. Al is looking down on us today. This is an idea that's fueled by imagination and perseverance, which will soon be taking shape before our eyes. I know that there has been some anxious moments going through the planning process in the City of Vaughan. We are in the City of Vaughan. I thought I would make that point clear. And this, as your religious leader said, is a center unique in Ontario and Canada, unique in the Muslim community, and we're very proud, we're very honored that's in the City of Vaughan. And you also, I'm sure, driving here from various locations, and to all the residents that live here, you've seen the tremendous growth that's taking place. Perhaps sometimes it's too much growth, but a lot of residents, a lot of new residents love to come to our city, to live in our city. And I'd just like to take a minute and say, Mr. Weston, please come to our city. Doors are open. I'd also like to acknowledge the presence of your local councillor here, Councillor Mary Rocco. I've seen him come in, he's right here. Along with Councillor Mary Rocco and myself and other members of council, there have been anxious moments at council in trying to approve this project as a start. I think Mr. Razak Damani, had anxious moments in the council chamber. Mr. Rajani also there, very concerned. At the end of it all, there was no concern. Everything was approved. Everything was smooth. And I'm sure that future projects, and I know that there's a few already in the, I guess, but many of you will be just as easily approved because we welcome you with an open heart. This groundbreaking for the construction of the Islamic Education and Community Center is a testament to the vision, hard work, and support of many community members and representatives. We are pleased that the site and future buildings will support the growing needs for education and community activities. We all succeed with the help and support of each other. I have enjoyed attending various events here across the years. I commend the many contributions of volunteers in working helping those less fortunate, and examples have been cited in earlier speeches. As well, the project leaders and those who supported the vision are to be commended for their work in reaching this important juncture. Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." This is a dream that will become a reality. In our growing city, the construction of this center is the launch of a meeting and learning facility where future dreams may be realized. Dreams, caring, living together harmoniously as a family is the best thing that we would ever want to see in this world. And I think with God's help, with Allah's help, this will be a reality. May the new opportunities seized by all community members be happy, exciting, and fulfilling. Congratulations for this achievement. I thought the children were wonderful, and that's our future. Very bright. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Maybe you can pass on a message to the mayors and to all city councilors that this center and this community will make the city of Vaughan very proud, inshallah. Now,
I apologize, I missed one of the council members, Susan Cadis, from the Thornhill area. And I'd just like to acknowledge her.
as you can see, we have so many guests. We would have loved to give you all a chance to speak, but I'm sure we won't be out here by tomorrow morning. So just to be fair to everyone and to yourself, we have to just limit to 4 guests. Now, in the past 2 weeks, we have received numerous letters from different levels of government and from different communities around the world. And here are just a few. I don't know if you can see them, but there are just a few of them. And I would like to request now our Honorary Secretary of ISIJ, Brother Shabir Jaraj, to come forward and share some of the excerpts of these letters. Brother Shabir Jaraj?
Your Honors, honorable guests, brothers, sisters, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. It is my pleasure tonight to read the messages that we have received. Because we are short of time, I have just chosen a few who will basically represent different groups. I will start off with the President of World Federation, Brother Hasnain Walji. He says, "It gives me enormous pleasure to learn that at long last we will be marking yet another milestone in the development of our Jamaat in Toronto, by laying the foundation stone on 13th Rajab 1422, September 30th, 2001. At this juncture, with the tremendous strides made by Toronto Jamaat in virtually every field, madrasas, youth activities, sports, schools, seniors living, not to mention the vibrant Jafri News and the dynamic Jamaat website, Toronto is on the threshold of being the trendsetter Jamaat in our community. I must state, however, that this mantle comes with an attendant heavy responsibility in getting it right. I do believe, therefore, that 9000 Bathurst Islamic Education and Community Center will not just be a critical milestone for Toronto, but for our entire global community. On behalf of the World Federation executives, I would like to congratulate the leadership and members of Toronto Jamaat as they embark on this foresighted, exciting, bold and innovative endeavor in the service of the community to facilitate the dissemination of the pristine and unequivocal teachings and absolute moral values as taught by Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Next, I'll read very short messages from different dignitaries around the world. I've said Murtaza Kashmiri, represented a friend of ours, Honorable Tony Valeri, MP of Stony Creek. He sends his regrets not being able to attend today, but sends his warmest greetings and states that he is confident that this new facility will play an important role in the development of the one community and will serve as a focal point both educational and spiritual. Next I have, this is from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, from Brother Oscar Baroni, President. He commends our pioneer community on embarking upon.
We are proud in Ontario of our diverse cultural heritage and of the hard work and values of the people who came to our province and made it their home. A celebration like this works to reinforce the civic, cultural, and democratic values that make Ontario such a wonderful place to live. May the pride you feel during this celebration play a key role in highlighting the culture and heritage of Muslim Canadians within your community and within Ontario. To everyone who contributed the time and energy to this event, you can truly be proud of your efforts. Please accept my warm best wishes for a memorable celebration and a joyous gathering. My kindness.
Refreshment on my right side. So now can we have Brother Ali Razabai and our respected alim to start going towards the ceremony area. And thank you for your attention and your presence.
Somewhere here.
Can we have the children give the shovel to her honor? Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Now we're going to place the time capsule on the ground. Maybe.
You can bring to it. Gigi.
Salawat. For those of you who cannot see, we have the children who have put on the ground the time capsule. Inshallah, after many years, we'll open it and see how old we have become. Ya Ali. Now, just a reminder.
صلوات
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Now, before people start moving, may I just remind you that for the dignitaries to please move towards the tent behind where we were, and for the people, for the remaining of us, there will be refreshment. But after the refreshment, there is going to be the raffle drawing, so please do attend the main tent, and inshallah we'll see who's going to be the lucky one who can win the big prize. Salwa ala Nabi.
dignitary છે ને Vacation.
If we can get members of the general public to start going towards the tables for refreshments, please. And all the dignitaries are invited back to the main tent for the refreshments as well. Thank you.